Frank Ragnow of your Detroit Lions. You are now tuning into the official new hotness, the One Pride podcast presented by ISN. This is your source for all Detroit Lions news, rumors, pre- and post-game day breakdowns. Go Lions.
And what's going on YouTube? This is your boy, Mr. MicroMike, and today we have a great show for you tonight to talk about our beloved Detroit Lions. But in this show, it's not all Lions fans, and that's important to look at a different perspective. But of course, we got time to talk about all that juice. It's time to introduce the folks on the panel, and we're going to start with Mark Oram from Orum's Forum. What's going on, Mark? Yo, Mark, what's going
on, guys? How's everybody doing on this Thursday, man? Let's talk some Lions ball. Let's get at it, man. Let's go.
And of course, we got
can you hear me? Can't hear me?
You need to back out again. Dern, what's going on, Dern?
Can you hear me now?
Dern, let me know what's going on, man.
What's going on, guys? It's the Dern. We're back at you with another podcast. My brothers with ISN, and we got some new friends.
Folks, we got some new friends with us, and this is Austin and Sheldon. They are new YouTubers out there from Utility Sports. I found these guys on YouTube when they were doing a mock draft, and I was extremely impressed with the quality of work they were doing. Fellas, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. I'm Austin, and this is Sheldon, and in our channel, we focus a lot of NFL draft, a lot of NFL content, and we even go into some NBA contact with mock drafts. So if you'd like any of that, please come over to our channel. We'd love to have you, and please leave some comments because we love dialogue.
And throughout the show, I will be posting the link on there, and I want every of my subscriber that comes in and see this, and generally we have quite a bit to subscribe to their channel. We want to get them to 1,000 subscribers. It is difficult to get to that 1K. It truly, truly is. And I am excited because they're not Lions fans, folks. They're Jaguars and Jets fans, and that is fun. Dern, can you do me a huge favor and give shout-outs to the folks that are in the chat currently?
Yeah, I see Daryl Grant. I see Ashley Heck. Andrew Lunsford, what's going on? Darren Mann, great first name, pal. Jace, I don't know how to pronounce that, but welcome, guys.
Welcome, and I'm sure when people stroll in, we'll go ahead and give them a shout out, and we're going to just go ahead and start with the content right now as it is. A lot of news are breaking for the Detroit Lions. Dill Pickles YT, welcome. Is Matthew Stafford, he really hurt his thumb. He should be good to go, but he hurt his thumb. Dern, how does this affect the Detroit Lions game against the Carolina Panthers?
Well, from what I heard, it's torn ligaments in his thumb, and the thumb is what you grip the ball with. I know he's played through this before, but you never know when that injury is going to take an effect where he could throw a bad ball or he can fumble the ball. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure he'll be good for the most part, but they might not throw a lot of deep balls this game.
Connor, what's going on? Don't worry, you're late. People slowly come in, and surely. Mark Oram from Orum's Forum. You good to go? And if you're good to go, let me know.
I don't know, man. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. But can you tell the
hear
folks?
Me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Apparently not. So we're just going to go ahead and remove him right now. Okay, so Matthew Stafford hurt his ligaments in his thumb. From an outside perspective, fellas, what do you think about this when it comes to Lions versus the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, if you want to jump right in on this one, Austin. Yeah, so from an outside perspective for the Detroit Lions, what does this mean, right? So you have the ligament injury in his thumb, obviously going to be a little tougher to throw the football. So what does this mean for Lions football? You're going to run it, and you're going to try running it consistently. However, we had some news come in about DeAndre Swift. Lions fans are a little sad about that, unfortunately, but it is what it is at this point. This leaves you with Kerryon Johnson, Adrian Peterson mix. You're going to see a lot of them. Unfortunately for the Lions, Swift is your most dynamic back. Sheldon, what do you think about this?
Yeah, honestly, missing Swift for this game is really important. The Carolina Panthers have been a team that's really struggled in containing the run all year. And quite frankly, they've struggled defensively for the most part. I believe they're second most total yards allowed in the NFL at this point. So I think obviously having DeAndre Swift out with concussion protocol is something that'll not only hurt the Lions' overall rushing attack, but I think it could be something that hinders the passing attack as well as Stafford's dealing with this thumb injury.
Yes, and you pretty much just summed it up right, and it really hurts us. We assume that we're talking about this in last episode, Dern, about how DeAndre Swift needs to be the focal point of this Lions offense. If you get over 100 yards, you're good to go. But now we hear with the concussion issue of DeAndre Swift, that is going to be a major issue, Dern, for the Detroit Lions offense. You got an injured Stafford, and you got a hurt DeAndre Swift. What should the Lions do to correct this issue to have a chance against the Panthers?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because Swift was the hot hand. The dude just started going off, whether catching the ball out of the backfield or finding the hole for the big runs. Adrian Peterson cannot break tackles anymore, so it's not going to nearly be the same thing. I know he's going out and catching a few balls every now and then, but they're going to have to start using carry on a little more as well.
Folks, you see this link that I just put in there? That is the direct link as soon as it comes on here to Utility Sports Channel. I want you to click that link, and then you see that big red subscribe button. Subscribe to their channel. They bring awesome content every day. I mean, every day. I was amazed. They need to get to 1,000. The Gridiron Blitz, welcome. Vash Sarwin, welcome. Hashtag ISN, that's facts. Jorge, welcome. Darren Mann, John Kapler, welcome. Make sure you subscribe to their channel. Vouching for him from me, and that's what it's all about. And they're talking about the importance of when it comes to DeAndre Swift. Do you think, fellas, you two, Utility Sports, do you think that Kerryon Johnson or Adrian Peterson can help fill that void of Swift potentially not playing Sunday?
I think that honestly, looking league-wide, at a league-wide perspective, they're not a bad 1-2 combo as, secondary and tertiary backs behind DeAndre Swift, and we'll be able to fill in a void for a week or two. But, just looking at it, you're obviously not going to get the play-by-play production that Swift gives you as a dynamic runner, someone who can also obviously run through contact, but also make guys miss. Duran had mentioned that AP is just not that back quite anymore, and I think that he's an okay option for the short term, but obviously the Lions will miss their ultimately best player at this point.
Yeah, and something really important to note about DeAndre Swift is he's averaging 4.7 yards per carry. Adrian Peterson right now, only 3.8. That's a big difference in a running back. Obviously, we've seen some explosive plays. You look at that Redskins game, he gives you an option out of the backfield in terms of a pass catching option. We saw him run that really nice zig route against John Bostic for the score. That was incredible to watch. He's improved as a route runner since coming out of Georgia. I really like Swift's game. He's a dynamic playmaker for the Detroit Lions. Huge loss on Sunday. Hard to replace it.
Absolutely. It is definitely going to be hard to replace. I heard that news and I had a big sigh and I felt like I had a concussion reading that article, and it was not something I wanted to read. Folks, we got 25 in the chat. Let's get 25 thumbs up and subscribe to everybody on the panel. And if you go up a click of licks and you see my comment there, hit that link and subscribe to their channel. Mark Orm from Orm's Forum, are you alive? And if so, yes, you are, because it sounds good to me.
He's back.
Tell me about Matthew Stafford thumb injury and DeAndre Swift concussion and what it means for the Lions Sunday.
Well, this is gigantic for the Lions. We've seen this before from Stafford when he had that hand injury a few years back, and he was messing around with that glove and he wasn't comfortable. I don't know what he's going to be. I'm sure he's going to be all strapped up on Sunday when he goes, and how's he going to be able to grip that ball? I remember hearing Darren saying something about his grip. Obviously, the man has gigantic hands to begin with, so that's kind of an advantage for him, but it's all about the pressure, and they got to protect him. If they don't protect him, and then we're in big-time trouble. And then now losing Swift on top of that, now we're going to have to go to Adrian Peterson, who, to be honest, looks like he's running through quicksand at times now. I think he's slowed down big time, guys. Yeah. So I think we'll see a heavy dose of Kerryon, and Kerryon's going to be fresh. The only good thing about this is that Kerryon won't have a lot of baggage on those legs, so he's going to be fresh coming out. So I'm sure he'll be frothing at the mouth, looking to see what he can do for the Lions. Because losing Swift, like our guy set up here, he's electric with the football in his hand, and we're losing a big time playmaker there, and that's tough. So Carolina's
tough.
got to step up.
Carry-on's got to step up or he's got to step out. But with all this negative news that we started out, let's get a little bit more positive because one of our big playmakers back on the practice field, I don't know if you know this, but Kenny Golladay is good. Austin, and tell me what you think about Kenny Golladay coming back on the field and what it brings to the Lions offense back.
Yeah, so adding Kenny Golladay, obviously he's a big physical receiver. He can be a red zone threat, and he's a guy that he's a consistent player that you can go to in your offense, right? Every week he pretty much shows up. You know what you're getting out of him in terms of production. You're not going to have to rely on some of your other receivers as heavily. We saw with Marvin Jones this past week. He had 8 catches, 96 yards, stepped up big time for the Lions, but obviously you want to have your best receiver on the field, and it's really big for the Lions to get him back.
Yeah, jumping off that, looking at some of the Lions' shortcomings this year, especially in the red zone, I think Golladay is a long-term solution to that if he stays healthy. Obviously missed some games earlier and coming back off of an injury now. And I think that's something that can help out Stafford a lot down in the red zone and also just the Lions' offense, especially with Swift out this week.
Absolutely. And hopefully Kenny Golladay could be on the field because I don't know if you guys know this, but for the Lions perspective, the Lions have not won a game except for one game when Kenny Golladay is not on the field, and that was last week. And that was a close win. I mean, we almost went to overtime. So it's scary when you're trying to make a playoff push and you're 4-5 and you lose Swift or hurt Stafford. So hopefully Kenny Golladay is good to go. Now, fellas, I got a question for you about Kenny Galladay's contract. You've done your research. You've seen Kenny Golladay work. This is for Lions fans. It's a big debate. Should the Detroit Lions attempt to re-sign Kenny Golladay? He's going to demand a lot of money. But from your perspective, what would you do? His contract's coming up. Would you re-sign him?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And honestly, it kind of depends on where you feel his market is at. I don't look at Golladay as a guy who's worth, upwards of $11 million or so. And this is something that the Jets actually went through with Robbie Anderson. Obviously, he's really performing well in Carolina. But like his success and ability to stay on the field was so with New York. And I think Golladay is a guy that if you can get him between that, $8 to $11 million range, you'd be pretty happy to keep him around. But he's not one of those guys who's going to be a top, 10, 15 receiver consistently week in, week out. And that makes it a lot harder to pay him upwards of that $11 million mark, in my opinion.
He is going to demand a lot of money, and I think he's going to demand around $18 million.
Yeah, it's upwards of 15.
15.
He wants top 5 money.
Yeah, he wants top 5 money, and I don't know if that's something that we can afford to do. I know S.Y. Gray says, pay to man. What's going on, Frederick Bourne? No, he's not leaving right now. With that said, Frederick, his contract's up. We may have to go ahead and put the franchise tag on him. Brett Higgins, what's going on? Welcome to the chat, folks. I'm here with Utility Sports, and that is Austin as well as Sheldon. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I just went and posted the link again to their channel. The Lions played the Washington football team there, Mark Orm from Orm's Forum. What player impressed you the most on Sunday with that victory?
Well, obviously it was, can you hear me? You can hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Obviously it was DeAndre Swift, man. He came out balling, got his first opportunity to get his first start in the NFL, and he looked the part. He was as advertised. I'm just disappointed it took 10 weeks to figure it out. I don't understand that, to tell you the truth, but he impressed me the most. And I got to give a big shout out to that O-line. I got to give a huge shout out to the O-line. They handled Montez Sweat and Chase Young handily. That is a D-line that consists of all first rounders, by the way. Eh? All first rounders are on that D-line. And they handled them, man, in the run and in the pass. I was very impressed with Taylor Decker and the boys. But Swift gets the cake for me.
DeAndre Swift, he was looking very shifty. Dern, what player impressed you the most from the Lions' victory over the Washington football team?
It's not one, it's 2. Both tackles.
Yeah.
The tackles played phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I think the one sack that got Stafford was from a guard. I think that was Ibushi. But like Orem said, that they're a top 5 in rushing the passer. So the way the tackles played just totally shut the DNs out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it, folks. If you want questions for the mailbag segment, remember at 7:15, that's when the mailbags start. You do hashtag Lions or hashtag whatever team your favorite is. We will answer it. If you want to ask us individually, we can do that. If you want to ask us as a panel, that's fine. And if you want to ask Utility Sports here, go ahead, because they're not Lions fans and they are fans of football and they're fans of the NBA. So make sure you ask them that questions. What player impressed you guys the most on Sunday with the Lions victory? Give me an idea, because I'm curious from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah, so I previously mentioned Marvin Jones, and he had a very good game. Big thing for him, he stepped into the number one receiver role. He's that veteran in the locker room, stepped up big time, almost had 100 yards. However, I'm actually going to go Romeo Okwara and Everson Griffin.
Yes.
The big thing for me, Okwara has taken a huge step from coming over from New York, the Giants, right?
Yeah.
He's a guy that's going to have to try to replace Flowers' production, and it's really unfortunate that he went down this year. However, Okwara has been a pleasant surprise to watch from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah, and jumping into mine here, I'm actually going to go with more of an unorthodox pick. I'm actually going to go kicker Matt Prater. Prater. I think it's really easy to kind of, overlook the kicking position, saying, "Oh, that's their job. That's what they're supposed to do." But Prater's a guy who ranks 28th all time in field goal percentage. He's been not only very accurate throughout his career, but also a guy who obviously shows off a lot of range. He has the NFL record at a 64-yard field goal, and he hit a 59-yard field goal winner for you guys with 3 for 3 on field goals. And you might not come out of that game with a win without him, honestly. So I think that sometimes giving praise to kickers, because a lot of the time they only get attention when they mess up.
And that's facts. And he's been messing up a lot throughout the season. For him to knock out a 59er when you didn't expect it, it was a big positive, man. I love those picks. They're fantastic picks. I love the Okwara pick because a lot of people don't realize that this dude's actually got 6 sacks. And you talk about Trey Flowers, you talk about other players, but Romeo is the guy who's no one's talking about. It's like, Romeo, where out there, Romeo? He's on the field getting after the quarterback, doing a pretty good job. And
he's a free agent next year too, man. He's a free agent too.
Yeah, I think he's top 5 in pass rush percentage for pressures.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, and it sucks that his brother is on IR. But with that said, it is what it is. What's up with Kelly Stafford's comments? Folks, Kelly Stafford makes dumb comments all the time, so I don't even want to talk about it. It's not Matthew Stafford. I don't really care about those comments. Player for me that impressed me, that gave my impression the most, DeAndre Swift, guys. I love Swift. He's my favorite player in the team. He's asserting himself to be in the number 1 back required for the Lions. We've never had that guy since Javed Best. Before him, Barry Sanders. We got to have a complementary offense. I'm tired of always passing the football. Swift is the guy to do it. He can go in between the tackles. He can get around. He's actually jumping over players. He's starting to think less and just doing it. I love DeAndre Swift. It sucks that he's probably not going to play on Sunday, but to me, golly, I love what he's bringing to this team. I love this concept of running the football and turning this into a more balanced offense that we haven't seen in years for Detroit. Folks, we got 34 in the chat with only 24 thumbs up. Let's get to 34 thumbs up, and as soon as other people get in, we got to get more of those thumbs up. Why? Because guess what? Chat Sports monitors what I'm doing, and they want my likes to be up. So make sure you hit that like button and make my superiors a little bit proud of what's going on here in the great state of Michigan and in Canada for Mark Orem and Minnesota for the other 3 folks on the panel. With the Lions' victory over the Washington football team, can the Lions make the playoffs? Mark Orem from Orem's Forum.
The infamous playoffs, eh? The
playoffs. Talk about playoffs.
Escapes us all the time. You know what? I don't see them making a playoff run. Listen, man. I'm a huge homer, but I don't see this team winning more than 6 games. The next 2 games are winnable, but December is absolutely brutal for this team.
Yeah.
Maybe the Bears we could possibly beat. The Bears seem to be on a big decline right now, but I don't see us winning more than 2 games, to tell you the truth, guys. So, no, I don't really see us making a playoff run. Like I said, man, we play Green Bay, Minnesota coming up in December. Who else we got? Tennessee. Like, we're in a little bit of trouble. We're a little bit of trouble come December, but I do see us winning maybe a couple more games, 6-10 at best. So, no playoff run. I don't see it.
6-10 is a nightmare scenario for me. I would rather be the Jets or the Jaguars than be 6-7.
I don't know.
6-10 because you don't get the special guys, Dern. With the Lions' victory over the Washington football team. Yes, their name is the Washington football team. Does the Detroit Lions now have a chance? A chance, even if a smidge of a chance to make the playoffs, Dern.
Don't say it, Dern. Don't say it.
Drink that Kool-Aid, Dern.
I'm more of a pessimist than he is, but I think we're going to win maybe 7 games, something like that. We can't win in our own division. So what makes anyone think that we're going to make the playoffs? Yeah, the next couple of games are winnable, but have you guys heard of our coach?
Who?
I don't know if you have. We were up by 21 points, and we let them come back. How do you let a terrible team like the Washington football team with the guy that's hobbling on one leg come back? It doesn't make any sense.
Nearly
380 yards, man. He threw against that defense.
Oh,
his first start, and I think
Sickening.
over 700 days.
Yeah, no.
The grid
Like, good for him.
Chance.
I'm happy for him. I'm really happy for Alex Smith.
Congratulations.
I am very
Great
happy
story.
for him. But
great
good
story.
job, brother. Good
Terrible
job
for our defense.
Good story. I feel good about it. But
No.
you almost made us it almost made us look like a friggin' laughing stock again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was so close, man. We are a laughing stock, but it was just we are a laughing stock, but it was just like, you know what I mean? It was just like, oh my God, we're gonna get beat by a one-legged quarterback.
And that's why Matt Prater is the player from last week, right? Right? Because he made that field goal.
Both Matts bailed that Matt out.
Great pick. Love the pick. Love the pick. All right, fellas. You are not a Lions fan. Do the Lions have a chance with the win over the Washington football team? Do they have a
your
chance?
words wisely.
Hey, these are 2 smart guys. They don't.
Looking at them, at this point they're 4-5, and statistically they're not eliminated. But quite frankly, I don't think either of us really see it for them. They're still last in the NFC North. The Vikings are really hot right now on a 3-game win streak. I think the Packers are going to handle that division probably the rest of the way out. And you're looking at the Bears. Obviously, the Bears are a little bit of in a free fall right now, but still stand second at 5-5. And quite frankly, their roster is just more talented at this point. But I think for the Lions fans, you can't look at the season as a playoffs or bust. There's still like a focus on growth and really improving positionally place to place. And you still have a draft pick this year, obviously, that you're going to use to improve moving forward. So, obviously it's unfortunate to not make the playoffs, but there's a lot to build off of.
Yeah, I think it's a tough road for the Detroit Lions. Obviously, you have the Bucs coming up, you have the Titans coming up, you have the Packers and the Vikings, and I think also the Texans and Bears. I think that rounds out the rest of your schedule. Obviously, the Texans aren't going to be an easy win either. Obviously, they have Deshaun Watson. He gives you a chance in almost every game that you play. They've had a lot of struggles. The Bears have kind of been in free fall mode. Their offensive line's banged up. They don't have a right tackle right now. Massey went down for them. So for the Bears, it's going to be – that might be a win for the Lions, but there's a lot of tough teams remaining on the schedule, and quite frankly, as Patricia's still the coach, it's hard to win some games that you're not supposed to win because he doesn't elevate the team like that.
And
Can I add something to this?
Yes, go ahead and add it. Add something to it.
We play the Texans on Thanksgiving. There's 2 things that happen on Thanksgiving. You eat your turkey, and the Lions losing.
Ah!
And I get drunk.
Ah! Guess what happened last time we played the Texans on Thanksgiving?
Oh, I was there. I was there.
The knee was down. But they said it wasn't.
That was
Jim
the red
Schwartz.
flag, right? That was Jim Schwartz through the red flag.
Jim Shorts.
Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz wearing Jim Shorts. Folks, There's a chance. If there's a will, there's a way, but I'm not going to blow smoke over 2 points of contact. They need to show better on defense. They need to show better upon that defensive line, the linebacking core, which has been lacking like I've never seen. This is the worst linebacking core in the NFL, in my opinion. They got to get better there if they want to make a run. And this is the time of the show we talk about matchups. We love matchups here. We like to break down what we're seeing specifically from a team in an unbiased opinion, try to be giving you a factual content as we can. And the Detroit Lions offense is going to be going against the Carolina Panthers defense. Mark Orem from Orem's Forum. What is a key matchup you want to tell the folks out there to pay attention to on Sunday? Yes, good matchup.
The one matchup that I would really like to see.
He's having issues again.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Can't hear me?
No. So I'm going to go ahead and mute you. Dern, what say you? Give me a key matchup for you that you want to see from the Lions offense versus the Carolina Panthers defense.
First, I'm going to say you said that 2-point attack or whatever. AP can't get 2 yards after contact, so that's fine. Anyways, the Lions offense, I want to see the offensive line keep doing what they're doing. And if Swift isn't going to play, I'd honestly rather see Carry-On than AP because AP cannot break a tackle.
No.
Can we get Hawkinson more involved because he didn't do anything last week?
Yes, definitely. And fellas, from Utility Sports, again, I put their link in the comment section. And when this video is over, if you're witnessing after the fact, it will be in the comment section. Click on it. Make sure you subscribe to their channel. They're very quality. It's not Lions fans here. They are sports fans. They do NBA, they do NFL, and it's fantastic. Make sure you subscribe to their channel. What's going on, Dr. Nuke, Don Burr, Robert Jones, ISO Gilly? Welcome to the chat. If I did not shout you out, Frog Crop's in the building. That is the guy who loves dropping some lovely things to me, and I appreciate it. What's going on, Ralph McClanahan? I'm sure I destroyed your name, but I apologize. What is a key matchup you two fellas want to see from the Lions versus the Carolina Panthers?
So for the Detroit Lions, it's all about, even though DeAndre Swift isn't there, it doesn't change how I think that this matchup needs to go for the Detroit Lions. It's all about running the football, right? So right now, the Carolina Panthers are top 10 in the NFL in terms of takeaways. What you have to do, protect the football. Carrion and AP really need to do a good job of doing this. And it's going to be a tough matchup. You're matching up with a run stuffer and Derek Brown for the Carolina Panthers, and you got to establish the run, open up some play action. And that's where the TJ Hawkinson thing comes in. As we know from experience, Darrell Bevel doesn't use tight ends very well. We've seen that in Seattle with Luke Wilson, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In Minnesota, had a lot of issues, had one good season with Visante Shenko. He doesn't know how to utilize tight ends. So you got to really open up the play action, get Hawkinson involved early.
Yeah, and building off of that, I think another key matchup to watch will be Kenny Golladay out wide against Dante Jackson. Obviously, he is their top corner in Carolina, and Carolina is a team that gives up a lot of yards. So looking at Golladay, you guys are going to have to convert in the red zone. That's going to be a big thing. At this point, you guys are only converting about 58% of your red zone trips into touchdowns, and that number needs to be closer up to 65 to 70% to be closer to some of the better offenses in the NFL. And Golladay is a big part of that, so I think that's something definitely to watch on Sunday.
And absolutely. Yes, Bo Scarborough is in Seattle. He's no longer a Detroit Lion, unfortunately. What's going on? Nathan Bush, welcome. He says, predict a big win coming up. We're going to talk about predictions in a moment. And if you ain't predicted to hit my like button, you better hit that. Predict it. Let's get it up to 50 likes. I'm sure folks have not hit that like button, so make sure you do that. A key matchup that I'm looking for is, you talked about this, was TJ Hawkinson. I feel like they need to utilize him big time in this game. We may not have Swift. Hit the middle, go after the linebacking core, and utilize this man. We got him with the 8th pick last year in the draft. It is time to use his skills. Getting 2 catches a game is unacceptable. We have a chance to exploit the middle of the Panthers defense. Let's get those necessary first downs, extended long drives, help out with the loss of Swift, utilize TJ Hawkinson versus the linebacking core. It is time. It is time to use them. Darrell Bevel, Get it through your thick skull. This guy is a fantastic player. Use the skill set. Use the skill set, because we are tired of not seeing it. When we know if you throw his way, he generally catches the football. He seems to always be open. Throw him the football, and let's use that and get those necessary first downs, because it's important to have long, sustained drives. Why? Because it wears a defense out, and it keeps the opposing offense on the sideline. Just do that. Throw him every 12th down. Just consistently do it. The Lions can win a football game. Let's transition to the Detroit Lions defense key matchup towards the Carolina Panthers offense. Now, a little update. Looks like Teddy Bridgewater's a no-go. So we're dealing with the backup here, PJ, the guy who played in the XFL. That will be their starting quarterback. And obviously, Trey Flowers not going to be here for the Detroit Lions. So, Dern, what is a key matchup you want to see for the Lions defense versus Carolina Panther offense?
I want to see us do more of a 4-3 than a 3-4.
Yeah.
I am tired of rushing 3 people and doing man-to-man constantly. You're going to get your corners burned every time. And this PJ Walker has only thrown, what, less than 10 passes in the NFL? If he burns us because we're only rushing 3, I'm going to be one salty dude.
What you really broke that down. A good 30 seconds of talking about it. I really appreciate that.
McCaffrey's not in. I don't know what you want me to do here.
Oh my God, man. Well, I'm going to go to the fellas here. What is a key matchup you want to see from the Detroit Lions defense perspective? Our defense is bad, and I mean really bad. So we're going to have some issues here. What do you guys see?
Yeah, as Dern just mentioned, obviously Christian McCaffrey is out this week. They ruled him out on Wednesday, I believe. But I think Mike Davis is still someone that the Lions need to be wary of. He's caught 47 passes this year for around 400 yards, I believe. He's also been really effective running the football when Christian McCaffrey's been out this year. And I think that, quite frankly, the Detroit Lions front seven really needs to pick up the play, especially the 2 guys in the middle, Jared Davis and Jamie Collins. I think the 2 of them need to really, come in focused and ready to play this week. They need to be willing to move out with Davis out into open field, both in the flat and across the middle as a route runner. He's a guy who's obviously been very productive in the passing game. And like you said, the heavy man defense, that's going to be a tough matchup for Collins and for Jared Davis, a guy with a lot of experience being used as a pass catching back.
And for me, a lot of it stems from winning the trenches, right? So for the Detroit Lions, this game, like I had mentioned on the offensive side of the football, you got to win the trenches. You got to run the football. On the defensive end, you know what you have in Mike Davis. He's going to run the football. They're going to consistently run it. But the thing for them is you want to get into a situation with PJ Walker, who is the XFL MVP. You want to make sure you can get into some 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8s, make him throw the football, right? But the big thing for you guys is you got to contain him. He has legs. He's mobile. He's elusive. So honestly, you can't let him get outside the pocket. And honestly, you got to generate a ton of pressure from your edge rushers. That comes with Aguara and Everson Griffin. They did a much better job this week. Obviously, adding Griffin for the compensation you gave up in draft picks or single draft pick was pretty reasonable. So I think it makes a lot of sense for them to have done that, and it should pay off down the stretch here.
Exactly, run a 4-3.
Run a 4-3, right? You want to run a 4-3, and I think for me, we talk about the defensive line here. We got to get after the quarterback, Aguara, and I want to see Everson Griffin. Now, the first game he came back, he didn't do that well versus the Vikings, but again, he had less than a week of practice. He was just thrown in there. Last week, he did fairly well, a lot better than I expected him to. Let's see if he can do that here against the Carolina Panthers offensive line. Can these 2 get after the quarterback and just like Dern wants to more of a 4-3, which that's kind of the way that I like as well, because our linebackers are not good. Let's go ahead and throw some more pass rushers in that way and see if the safeties and the cornerbacks can get some turnovers here. Again, this guy, PJ Walker, has not played a lot in the NFL, had very little snaps. We do have the ability to get the ball turned over. We got Akuda. He can't get a reception. We got Duron Harmon. Let's see if we can get some turnovers. And if turnovers can win games. And so it's important for this defense to make some big plays, but it all starts up front. Because if you don't have a defensive line that can get after the quarterback, that can rush the passer, that can disrupt his progressions, you're going to get eaten up like Alex Smith did to our defense, which you stand in the pocket and just picking us apart. We cannot allow that to happen. So to me, this defensive line is really, really got to show out for this game. Get after PJ, make sure he throws some errant throws, get some turnovers, and get to a Lions victory. And that is key for me, folks. If you have not subscribed to any of the folks on the channel, make sure you subscribe to everybody on the panel. Do that, as well as, again, here is the hyperlink. It goes straight to Utility Sports channel. Subscribe to their channel. They're not Lions fans. Make sure you do that and hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so. Also, it's important to hit that notification bell. Why do you want to hit that notification bell? Because guess what? Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, I am live watch party for the Lions versus the Carolina Panthers. It's absolutely fun. Do play-by-play, see what takes place in an unbiased opinion. Let me know, and we will have fun. But you got to hit that notification bell immediately if you have not done so. We're going to get into predictions right now. We're going to talk about the Lions versus the Carolina Panthers predictions, Stern. This is a difficult one to do because there's a lot of question marks via injury. Well, what do you see? What do you see happening on Sunday?
I cannot remember if it's at the Panthers, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yes, at Carolina. Yep.
You know, I think Vegas, even with Teddy Bridgewater out, have us losing by 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's hard because you don't know how Stafford's going to throw it because of his thumb. Swift is out. How good will our rush attack be? How good will be stopping their run with Mike Davis? Because he can go out and he can catch those screens.
Yeah.
I still, with Bridgewater out, have a hard time giving us the W. I think we will lose this game because this is Patricia fashion. A game we should win because the team is beat up. Saints, they were beat up.
Mm-hmm.
We still lost big time.
Yeah.
I think we will lose this game. Let's go 27-23.
Okay, 27-23, we lose. And what happens if we lose on Thanksgiving? Is that the end of Matt Patricia?
Oh, man, I hope so.
I would hope so as well. I would hope so as well. It's a loss statistically, but it's a major win for the Lions fans across the world. Fellas, what say you? Prediction for the game.
Yeah.
What do you see taking place?
Yeah, I think Dern kind of laid it out pretty well, looking at, the questionables on both sides, the doubtfuls, and who's already out. But like he kind of alluded to, I also have an issue giving the Lions a win here. I think that Mike Davis is going to be a lot for the Lions to deal with, and I think also what Matt Rule and Joe Brady really offer to that Carolina offense with their receiving core is going to help PJ Walker come in and be productive. And he also has a history with Rule. I believe he played for him at Temple and is a player that we've had seen success in the XFL too. So I think he'll be ready for the moment, and I think has a little bit more around him. And I ultimately think Rule will outcoach Patricia, leading to a close 21-17 victory over the Detroit Lions this week.
Okay. So it's going to be a close one. I see in the chat we got 34-29 Lions from Connor. I want to see your guys' prediction in the chat. Just throw it in there. What do you guys see? Let me know. We got 35-24 Lions. I want to get an early lead and hold it enough for a comfortable win. Well, that's scary. Now, what say you, Austin? What do you see?
Yeah, so for me, I like the reasons that they laid out that the Lions could lose, but I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions in this one. I am feeling a Detroit Lions victory. I think Stafford's thumb will be okay enough to kind of get you through this game. I think that honestly, the Lions are going to run the ball effectively. Obviously, the Panthers have had their struggles defending the run. However, having Kenny Golladay back, that's a big boost just for morale in the locker room. You're getting your top dog back. Marvin Jones had been playing well, especially last week. I think they're going to get T.J. Hawkinson going right now against the Carolina defense. Hopefully, expose some of their linebackers. 31-28, Detroit Lions.
Woo! Wee! Yay! Frog Crop, he is happy, and I'm sure you are as well. It says Golladay, baby. Yes, Golladay, baby, is looking to be back. And here's the prediction. Y'all already seen my prediction video. With that said, I had no idea Swift was going to be out. I wasn't confirmed about Bridgewater and Kenny Golladay. With that said, you guys are ready for questions, do hashtag Lions, do hashtag to whatever fan you are of your team. We're going to talk about it in a couple minutes. So get your questions ready before I answer this. Hashtag Lions, hashtag whatever team, Saints, Jaguars, Jets, Vikings, I don't care. We're going to go ahead and talk. You can answer all of us when it comes to prediction. I had the Lions winning 37-34 in a big game of offense because the defense ain't going to be that big of a game. But I think the Lions will pull it out. I think with Kenny Golladay returning, that is huge for the Lions offense. It's huge. But it is difficult because Swift is out. But with that said, I still have the Lions winning. John Kapler is laughing. Yes, you know I was going to throw you a curveball. I do see PJ, though, having some issues here. I could see him turning the ball over a little bit. Let's see. ISO says, MicroMike, do you think Prater bails us again? I don't think he needs to. I think that this is not going to be a cardiac cat type of game. Even though it's going to be close, I don't think we need to. I think that the Lions will win, and it's not going to be that. We'll be nervous. We'll be nervous at the end of it, but not like, oh, my God, if he makes it. You know, if he doesn't make it, we're going to overtime type of thing, or we lose the game. So I don't see that happening. We got some questions, and we're just going to start this mailbag a little bit early. Hashtag Lions from Darren Mann. Where do you see us if we in our next 3 games? Where do I see us? I see us 5. I see us winning this game. I see us losing on Thanksgiving. And I see us losing the next game. That's what I see. What about you, Dern?
I totally agree with that. Except for this game. I have us losing all of them.
Dang, man. You're definitely – that Kool-Aid is Jim Jones for him right now. That's
Patricia drank it all.
Oh, my God. He eats it all, too. If you could have that
He has to drive on that four-wheeler.
He got gout in his leg. He got gout in his leg. Connor says, hashtag Lions, do you think that Kenny G and Marvin Jones will play today? What about the fellas? What do you think? Think they're going to play on Sunday?
Yeah, from the indications that we have at this point, I think both will play. Obviously, you know, they'll come down to some close pregame time decisions, possibly. And I think, honestly, for Lions fans, you should be more concerned about DeAndre Swift probably missing that game.
Okay, yeah, I'm concerned about that. Hashtag Lions. I mean, like, what if we win the next 3? What do you see us? Well, if we win the next 3, we're in the playoff. We're in a playoff hunt for sure. I mean, if you go 7 wins and you're 7-5, you're in the playoff hunt with the 7th seed of the NFC. So I could see that. Lions, hashtag Lions, signing so many New England expatriates to the team. Let's see, who is the Dr. Frankenstein of the Lions, Patricia or Quinn? And do your fans have any torches ready? Oh, the torches are ready. The torches are ready. The torch has been ready since year 1 of this guy.
Pitchfork, man.
Yes, the torches are ready. Let me switch it to Adam Gase. Are you guys ready to get rid of Adam Gase?
Yeah,
are you?
I've been quite ready for Adam Gase to be out. Pretty much since the end of his first year. You know, we tried out the whole Le'Veon thing. I think Gase is a big reason why Le'Veon wasn't successful. Obviously, our line didn't end up working out. But honestly, I think he's really lost control of the locker room in a lot of ways. I don't think really the players really respect him at this point. And, you know, there's also been the drama with if he's given up offensive play calling, obviously did in week 7 this year. But that's what he's supposed to be good at. He's an offensive coordinator type guy. He's a guy who's supposed to lead a good offense. And quite frankly, we've been one of the worst offenses in the league in his tenure. And this year we're dead last in red zone efficiency too at a dismal 22% touchdown rate.
How is he your guys' head coach? Why isn't he not fired by now? I don't understand how this guy has a job.
That's the thing that scares me because Joe Douglas and him have a relationship, and Joe Douglas obviously being the Jets GM. So I am praying that he does not stick around.
That's one intense relationship.
The one nice thing about him being there is we're pretty much guaranteed to lose week in, week out, which gives us a better shot at Lawrence. But at the same time, no one's developing right now either, in my opinion.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you one more question. If you guarantees you Lawrence, if you win 1 game, you don't get Lawrence. If you go 0-16, you get Lawrence. Do you want to go 0-16?
I would prefer to go 0-16 because I think the gap between Lawrence and Fields is pretty big, even though I think Fields is a good prospect.
Yeah, I think Fields is a really good prospect for Jacksonville perspective. Are you excited if Fields becomes your quarterback?
Yeah, so ultimately in this, he's the consolation prize to the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes. Honestly, before the season started, I thought we were going to have the number 1 pick, and I thought the Jets would win a few more games than they did. Obviously had some opt-outs, some injuries. So for the Jets, you're very, very blessed for your franchise in that sense. However, Justin Fields has improved so much more as a passer from last year to this year. He's been very, very efficient. At one point, he was completing 90% of his throws, I think, through his first 3 games. So he's just completely locked in. However, I do get a little worried about Ohio State quarterbacks. We've seen guys like Haskins throw 50 touchdowns in the Ohio State system. So I'm a little concerned about that. Obviously, I don't think Haskins is a fair comp, but I'm worried about the Ohio State system. I do think Fields is the second best player in this class.
And folks out there who's listening, whether you're listening live or not, this is Utility Sports. They are the master of the draft. That is how I found them out. And we know we love talking draft on this channel, especially because we're Lions fans and we tend to suck and we have to look at a future prospects fairly quickly. So make sure if you like the draft and you want to know about players and you want to know their positive aspects and negative, you subscribe to their channel, because it is intense the amount of knowledge they have about these prospects that we just started this process and yet they already know it. So that's intense. Connor says, #Lions. Do you think Jeff Okudah will have a good game against of the backup? Yeah, he's been having a good game. A lot of people don't know this, but the last couple of weeks, he's been playing well. He's not giving up a touchdown. He gives up a rookie play every once in a blue moon, but it's not that bad. Okudah is getting better, Dern, and I know you're frustrated with this.
I don't understand how people are still complaining about him constantly. Every other rookie corner has given up more than 1 touchdown. Okudah has not. He missed 2 to 3 tackles last week and gave up 60 yards. How are you complaining about him still? Yes, he made some terrible tackles, but usually he makes those tackles.
Gordon says, #Lions. Let's be real. Adam Gase only has a job because Peyton Manning made him. I don't know why he has a job. If you're, I can't tell you why. The guy is. I'll tell you what. I will trade you Pat Matricia, and you can keep Adam Gase as your defense or offensive coordinator. And don't you got Jim Bob Cooter as your guys' running back coach?
Running back coach. Yeah. How does he have a job?
How does he have a job? He's the worst. He's the worst.
Adam Gase is in charge of putting together that staff, so you can take Adam Gase.
Man, we call him KFC over here. This guy was a terrible coach. When he left, I was so happy that he went to the Jets and not wearing a Detroit Lions, anything. That guy was bad. Darren says, we're a game out of the playoffs if Arizona, Seattle don't tie, either Arizona loses because we're a tiebreaker. I don't want to go about all these tiebreakers right now because right now Arizona is looking really good. Yes, we defeated them, but man, I mean, they're having a game tonight. That's going to be one to watch. And Seattle Seahawks, yes, they've lost a couple games as of recently. With that said, I don't see this losing streak continue. They're a good football team except for their defense. That's not that good. #Lions, do you think that Kerryon will light up because of Swift concussion? I'll throw this to the fellas here. Do you think that Kerryon can help us out?
Yeah, I think it's actually a little personal for Kerryon Johnson. Kerryon was the man going in, and obviously Detroit felt that they had to take a running back in DeAndre Swift. I was surprised during the draft watching this because I'm like, man, they do have Kerryon Johnson. They believe in Kerryon Johnson. But all of a sudden the Swift pick came, and obviously we've seen that he's the better running back clearly. But I think Kerryon's going to be extremely motivated going into this game. I think it's possible he touches, 80 to 100 yards possibly.
Interesting. What about yours? Do you think that Kerryon's going to do well, Dern?
He is the number 1 back in pass protection. I think he would do much better than AP giving the opportunities because, like I said before, AP cannot break a tackle anymore. I think he would do better out of the backfield catching the ball because AP was never known to catch the ball out of the backfield until he came here for some reason. He's been catching quite a few, but he doesn't look that great doing it.
No.
He can't turn his hips and go upfield.
No, he's having issues. He's definitely having issues. Sheldon, what do you think? Do you think that Kerryon can get this thing going for the absence of Swift if he's not available?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier too. When I'm like, Kerryon Johnson's a commodity that not a lot of NFL teams really have. This is a guy with a lot of, former number one running back experience in the NFL, a guy who's been a successful runner in the past. And I think against a team like Carolina that's really struggled against the run, their young defense, I think that he could have a very positive week, like aSunday said, and I'm in agreement with his analysis on that.
Dern, adios, amigo. He's having some issues. He's got to go. So us three, we're going to hold this bad boy down. And here's a good question from John Kapler. Adios, Dern. Who do you like more, future Lion Austin Bryant or Julian Okwara? You guys have done a lot of, you're looking at prospects, and who do you has a better future? Last year, we drafted Julian in the 3rd round. Austin Bryant, we drafted him a couple of years ago in the 3rd round. Who has the brighter future?
Yeah, so I watched Okwara quite a bit. He played at Notre Dame, obviously, and you took him in the 3rd round, and I had that as a pretty positive grade. I think I had that anywhere from a B to an A- range. Honestly, coming in for pass rushing situations, he's a guy that can really put pressure on the quarterback. The Lions, I think it makes a lot of sense to, really focus Julian Okwara. I think what class is he? He was the 2020 or 2019 draft is when he was selected, or maybe it's 2018.
Yeah, Bryant was selected. This is his 3rd year for Bryant. It's his 3rd year, but he's been injured the last 2 years. And then we drafted Julian this last draft.
Yeah, this last draft, right? So honestly, I think that you need to focus a lot into Julian Okwara. I think he's got quite a bit of a potential. Honestly, he's a guy that can get quite a few tackles for loss for you. But for me personally, I'm an Okwara guy.
Yeah, and I'm in agreement with him there too. I think Okwara, his upside's a little bit higher as a pass rusher. I think he also can impact the game as a run stopping edge. And I think that he's a little bit more well-rounded than Bryant is in a lot of ways. And I think that's going to be kind of the direction the Lions take between the two of them.
I concur. I think that Bryant is just injury prone. And I also concur that we have 35 thumbs up and we should have at least 40. So make sure you hit that thumbs up, trying to get to 100. So if you're seeing this while it's live or not, get those thumbs up and make sure that the bosses who I deal with day to day are happy. Finally, a question not related to the Detroit Lions, but in a division that you're very familiar with, Sheldon. And this is the Miami Dolphins will get Texans' 1st round pick. And it's going to be an early 1st round pick, 5 or 6. Who should Miami take that high?
Yeah, this has been a fun discussion point on our channel and some of our NFL mock drafts. And Austin and I have talked about this quite a bit, actually, off of our channel as well. And I think the Dolphins, there's 2 directions they could really look. I think one of them is Micah Parsons, linebacker out of Penn State. He's a guy who fit into Brian Flores' system. Austin's really told me a lot about him as a player because he's our NFL draft expert. But I think another guy who's a little bit more high profile even is Jamar Chase. I think getting who is the best wide receiver prospect in the class to Miami to go to pair with Devontae Parker and obviously Mike Gesicki at tight end. I think that he has the ability as a medium route runner, short route runner, and also potential after the catch as a runner with the football. And I think that that would be a home run pick for Miami in the top 5.
Austin, what do you think? What should Miami do with that pick?
Yeah, I've been talking a lot about Sheldon with this. I think the benefit to taking a Micah Parsons is he's a guy, obviously, he's a sideline-to-sideline linebacker. He's able to force turnovers. But the big thing for him is defensive versatility. Obviously, we know from the New England systems, and especially for Detroit and everything, they know about this. They like to have guys that can do a lot of different things. And what he can do, he can also rush the passer. So I think that would be a very Miami-like pick to go Micah Parsons. I think the fun, exciting pick is definitely Jamar Chase. I'm extremely high in Jamar Chase myself, but I think Miami would probably opt to select somebody on defense. But honestly, you want to get to a weapon, and Jamar Chase is the perfect fit in Miami.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tua Tagovailoa would absolutely love having him. It's the rich get richer with Miami. Great trade by getting that high pick from Laramie Tunsil. I love what they're doing there. I've been talking about their GM. They should be GM of the year. We get 3 first-round picks last year, 2 second-round picks, revamping that whole team completely, and now they're a playoff contender. Yeah, I think you got it. I love Micah Parsons a lot. He's a fantastic linebacker. Would be great, but let's give Tua a weapon. Let's give Tua a weapon and throw Chase over there and just light it up on offense. I got a question for you for the Detroit Lions. Now, I've seen your first mock draft. That was suggesting that the Lions keep Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn. Yeah, we're thinking is these guys are gone. What do you do if they are gone? Is it time for the Lions? If Zach Wilson is available, should the Lions draft Zach Wilson, or if Trey Lance is there?
So I guess it all depends on who's going to be the GM and what the focus is, right? Every time you get a GM coach, you kind of have a clear direction. What are we going to address first, right? So if we're looking at the offensive side of the football, GM coach, they're going to want to probably move on from Stafford. Now, the question becomes, what is the value for Stafford on the open market in terms of a trade? Are we looking at a mid-round pick? Are we looking at a second-round pick for a QB-needy team? However, the quarterback market to me is a little saturated right now. We have guys, that possibly are backup quarterbacks that could be low-end starters in the league. However, I think that might impact his trade value. But I think under that assumption, they would trade Stafford and could elect to select Zach Wilson, who has been a prospect that was really, quite frankly, not on anybody's boards, maybe, that 5th through 7th round range. All of a sudden, he shot up to a first-round talent, especially you're probably looking top 15. So what does that kind of remind me of? That reminds me of Joe Burrow from last year. Radar prospect. He's completing a lot of his passes. I think he's over 70% right now. I really like Zach Wilson's game. He's a little mobile. He's not going to be, a super great scrambler, pick up a lot of rushes, but he's able to maneuver the pocket. And I think that's important for the Detroit Lions. You have a little bit of flexibility there. And I think that would be a good selection. Lion fans in the chat, please let me know if you agree with that.
Yeah, a lot of people I've been talking about if we're a top 10 pick or right there and he's available, I think you got to go the quarterback. In my opinion, I love Matthew Stafford. I was there. I met him when he got drafted. He's a good dude, but it's time to go in a different direction, in my opinion. If we're that early in the draft, we missed out on Justin Herbert and Tua Tagovailoa. That hurt us. Okay, that hurt us. And I seen that I got a super chat from Frog Crop. Shout out to Frog Crop dropping a $10 super chat, so you immediately get to jump to the top. He says, if our defense can get their big boy pants on, we win by 10 rather than Swift plays. No Golladay ready to get some of that money. Yeah, well, I want to thank you for sending me some of that money. I really appreciate it. Like I always say, it does go back into the channel, and I will be upgrading some more software, and that's important to give you guys the quality content that you require. But Frog Crop, I really appreciate you. I think the Lions could win by that. I think if we get a couple turnovers, I think it's possible. It's interesting because we haven't seen PJ Walker really play. So, but I think it's possible. I don't think this is going to be a cat scratch fever type of game. I don't think it's going to be a cardiac game either way, but I hope we get the W because we do need it. But yes, I'd love to get the quarterback. And I think a lot of fans are ready, but then you got some Stafford lovers that are not ready. So we'll see. Let know in the chat, should the Detroit Lions, if they have a chance to get Zach Wilson, draft him and be the heir apparent to Matthew Stafford? Let us know and let them know because they love doing mock drafts. Connor says, do you think the Romeo Aguilar is part of the future? Hopefully, he better be part of the future. If we pay Trey Flowers, we better keep him on there. He's doing a pretty good job. #Lions. Why isn't Tracy Walker getting as many reps? Darren, he was injured. He's coming back from an injury, and I think that more has to do with it. Who are these? Dr. Detroit. These are Austin and Sheldon from Utility Sports. Very great content, Dr. Detroit. You got to subscribe to their channel. Let me throw the hyperlink in there. Subscribe to their channel. They do content every single day, a couple times a day, mock drafts. They do NBA. They're not Lions fans, but their content is outstanding. I found their video out just searching mock drafts. I seen it, and I said, wow, got to get these guys on here. They're new to YouTube. But guess what? They're going to grow quick. So make sure you subscribe to their channel. Why is Patricia still here when last week the commenters were bashing his play calling last week? I don't know why he's still here. I can't stand Patricia. I've been saying this guy needs to go a long time ago.
Yep.
It's same with Adam Gase. Why is he still there? I don't know, but I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you. Panel, is Patricia tradable? No.
No.
You couldn't get a number 2 pencil for Matt Patricia. You just couldn't. I'm sorry, he's not tradable. Unless we was to give a team a draft pick with him, maybe. Then they would just release him. Smile says, what's up? What's up, Mike? What's going on, Smiles? If you got questions, ask the folks on the panel. Ask them. Austin and Sheldon, they are very good content creators. They're new to YouTube. They're not Lions fans. They're Jaguars, Jets fans, and they do content throughout the NFL and NBA. Do hashtag whatever team you're a fan of and ask these guys questions. Hey, guys, is Swift a concern? Yes, much a concern. Absolutely. He may not play Sunday. He may not play Sunday. Trade Patricia for a 7th-round draft pick. I don't want to lose that asset. Let's see. We would have to give up our 7th-round pick to get rid of Matt Patricia because we're not getting a 7th-round pick. Ain't no team want him. I'll give you a marker and a crayon. Okay. Lions should get Eric Bieniemy or Bills offensive coordinator. I'll throw this to you two. What do you guys think? If the Lions fire the coach, should we get Eric Bieniemy? Should we get the offensive coordinator from the Bills? Should we get a Salah from the 49ers? Who would you look for the Lions' next head coach?
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Being from Kansas City, we've seen offense. I think a lot of that can be really attributed to Andy Reid and his scheme. But be able to learn from Andy Reid, I think that there's a lot of value there. Obviously, they know how to win. He's been a part of a winning culture. I think there's value in that. So combine those two things, and you can get an offensive guy, can try to unlock Kenny Golladay, DeAndre Swift. I think it makes a lot of sense for the Lions, and it's going to be pretty hard to not hire him this offseason.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and just jumping off that too, like even if they decide to not go with an NFL coordinator currently, like you could look the college route too. Some of these programs have been putting up monster numbers week to week, and obviously bringing in either a coordinator from there or a head coach that wants to make the jump to the NFL is something that I believe is viable. We're seeing Matt Rule and obviously Joe Brady be really successful offensively at this point for the Panthers. And I think that they've got that team kind of trending upward. So I think that's something to consider too if you're a Lions fan.
Dr. Detroit says, Jag and Jets, oh boy, you guys like misery like us. That's hashtag facts. We're in a world of misery. Of misery, but their future's a little bit brighter, in my opinion, if you ask me. I'd rather be in their position than the position that we're in. Darren says, if you don't accept the number 2 pencil, can we get them a mechanical pencil for Pat Patricia? If the mechanical pencil writes his tail out of Detroit, yes, let's do it. Let's do it. No doubt about it. Panel, I agree. Zach Wilson might be play. He's athletic and can extend plays. Someone I'd much rather have instead of a statue like Kyle Trask. He's also known for his great leadership ability. What do you guys think of Kyle Trask? Because I've been hearing this name a lot, and he's a high riser. What do you guys think of Kyle Trask?
Yeah, so for me, Kyle Trask is a guy who's going to end up emerging as a first-round pick. A lot of people weren't sure if he was going to make that jump. He's currently one of the top Heisman candidates right now in college football. But if you're looking at Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, and also Kyle Trask, it's kind of tough to take Trask over some of those guys because they can. Those two guys can extend plays. The one thing about Wilson, he has a weaker arm than, say, a Trey Lance. However, he knows how to take care of the football. He knows how to win, right? Obviously, winning is not just a quarterback thing, but for BYU, they've been outstanding this year. They've had some down years in the past year, but he's elevated them to a top-tier program this season. A lot of props to him being a shortened season, a lot of things going on, a lot of players in and out of the lineup for BYU. So love Zach Wilson, love what he's doing right now.
Yeah, and looking at Trask too, right now he's benefited by having Kyle Pitts, obviously one of the most dynamic players in all of college football right now, obviously been one of the best non-quarterbacks across all of college football as well. And looking at a guy like Trey Lance, comparatively, you're going to have a guy who's not going to turn over the football. Like Austin said, extends the pocket, a little bit more mobile, and he's got that bigger arm. So I think that, like Austin had said, it kind of separates themselves as Trask being the third of those three.
Yeah, I concur with that. And folks, again, if you have not subscribed to Utility Sports, make sure you subscribe to their channel. I threw the hyperlink again in there. Mortal Films, welcome into the chat. Connor says, if Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, who would you get Mac Jones? Are you trying to say all these quarterbacks, who do you want to get? I'd get Trevor Lawrence first. I'd get Justin Fields second, Trey Lance third, Zach Wilson in that order. That's kind of the way I go. I just feel Trevor Lawrence is the stud, and I think Justin Fields is exactly what he is. He's just below him as a stud.
Yeah, and to talk about Mac Jones, if you're just kind of wondering, he's the Alabama product that once again came onto the scene this year. A lot of, having this shortened off season and not a lot of guys being able to be in the building, it changed the whole complexion of college football, in my opinion. A guy like Mac Jones was really benefited by Devonta Smith and Jalen Waddle, two of the best receivers in the nation at Alabama. A little bit of buyer's beware there, but I don't want to take away from what he's done so far at Alabama. He's been phenomenal. His numbers, his touchdown to interception ratio has been outstanding. You got to like what you've seen from Mac Jones, but he's a guy I think that will be taken with like the 31st or 32nd pick to ensure you get that fifth-year option by selecting him in the first.
What's going on, TA? Welcome, TA, back into building. Zach Wilson looks really good. I'm not saying that it's for sure stud, but he does look like more athletic Stafford, and he might work out behind Stafford. I think so too, Dr. Detroit. I think that would be a good idea if he would be available for the Lions pick. We can't get screwed over and missed out on Justin Herbert again. We can't miss out on a Tua. I think if they're available, you got to do it, folks. This is Utility Sports, and the people that were not here in the beginning, can you explain to everybody about your channel and what you guys bring for your content?
Yeah, so we are kind of like our name suggests, we try to be kind of utility men when it comes to sports. We offer a lot of different coverage. We go into mock drafts for both the NFL and the NBA, but we also talk about NFL power rankings, going over some of the individual aspects of the season kind of holistically and looking at the league wide. And also for the NBA, we do a lot of, free agency previews. We go into kind of what we predict for the season to happen. And we're going to be having a lot of content like that pouring out over the next week or so, obviously, as we move into NBA free agency. And we're also looking to expand into MLB a little bit too, if that's something any of you are interested in. That'll be kind of a little bit more of a rare aspect of our channel, but we are definitely looking at adding that.
Yeah, and we do have a lot of MLB fans in here. Wes Branchbaugh, he's always into building, talking MLB. A lot of players do, or a lot of subscribers do. It is what it is right now. It's not the most popular sport in the world. But if you like MLB, if you like NBA, if you like the NFL, subscribe to their channel like Dr. Detroit just did. He said, I just signed up to you guys. Did you fellas predict Okudah would suck as bad as he did? What do you guys think of Jeff Okudah?
Yeah, so for Jeff Okudah, a little bit up and down, but like you had mentioned, Mike, there's just that one rookie play that you're like, oh, man, you take that out, he's got a good game. He has that one rookie play out of the season or out of each game, unfortunately. But for us, both of us had him as our number one corner going into the draft and through the draft process and everything. CJ Henderson is another corner that the Jaguars actually took at 9. They've been pretty comparable in terms of how good they've been this year. Don't panic on the rookie corner. If we've had a lot of Cowboy fans in our mention talking about Trayvon Diggs. He struggled mightily this year. He's one of the most targeted corners in the entire NFL, has given up over 500 yards. So don't worry about Jeff Okudah. Just let the process play out. Jeff Okudah will be just fine. He'll be a top 15 corner in the league.
Yeah, looking at Okudah too, that's the thing. That's how cornerbacks kind of develop. The first year is kind of shaky. That's usually why we don't see a lot of contending teams with young cornerbacks. Cornerback's a position that you have to learn the tricks of the trade. Obviously, NFL receivers move a little bit differently in and out of routes than college receivers do. And they're also learning still the concepts of the NFL teams, what they're trying to run. And I think Okudah is going to be a guy that's going to transition well over the next few years. So like Austin said, don't hit the panic button.
Folks, we have been on for nearly an hour and 15 minutes, and I know there's Thursday night football, and we all want to sit back and enjoy the game. So this is the time where we do last words, and I'm going to throw it to the fellas on here. What do you got to say to the people in the chat, and anything that you want them to make sure that they subscribe to your channel, that you want to tell them that is important about your channel, that differentiate yourself from others?
Yeah, first of all, we want to really thank you, MicroMike, for having us on. We really appreciate the opportunity to sit down, talk some Lions football, talk some NFL football. And to the viewers, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure that if you're not subscribed to MicroMike, that you do. First of all, he's a great host and a great content creator. And also to make sure to check out our channel. We are trying to post daily, and we'll be putting out a lot of content here over the next couple of weeks regarding the NBA and NFL. Like we mentioned, we have an NFL mock draft every Monday that comes out. So if you are interested in that, make sure to tune in. And we're really looking forward to having you guys at Utility Sports too. Make sure to leave comments on our videos because we respond to pretty much every comment, and we really like having feedback from you guys. So thank you.
And can also, for the chat, everybody still here, fire Patricia chants in the chat.
Yes.
One.
God.
We got to see this, guys. Come on, let's go. Let's fire
Please.
it up. Fire Patricia.
Take Adam Gase with you.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody in the chat, I appreciate it's humbling that everyone came out. If you are watching this after being live, make sure you hit that like button and answer the question that I pinned the comment there. And again, if you want Patricia gone, you know what to do. Hashtag fire Patricia. Subscribe to their channel. Again, enjoy Thursday night football. I'm sure we'll be talking with these guys a lot more often. And everyone have a fantastic night and adios.